Did you even know that Ilia Topuria has an older brother, Alexander Topuria, who made his Ultimate Fighting Championship debut last year? They have identical tattoos and a very similar fighting style, which somewhat reminds people of Khabib Nurmagomedov and Islam Makhachev. For many years, the older Topuria brother was actually Ilia's coach. Meanwhile, he fought in other promotions and lost only once in his career before stepping away from competition for a long time, 6 years to be exact. Recently, Ilia kept mentioning him, and suddenly this legend from the shadows came back and completely dismantled Colby Thickness in the octagon. By the way, he was a protege of Alexander Volkanovski, who during that fight got so nervous that he drank all of Colby Thickness's water during the break. It almost looked like Ilia himself had stepped in against an average opponent. It became obvious that with this kind of pace, the two brothers could eventually capture championship titles. Not much time passed after that fight before Alexander was tested against a tough opponent, Begzat Almakhan from Kazakhstan. He handled that challenge just as impressively, and if he keeps moving at this speed, he could reach a potential UFC title contender by the end of 2026. His rise in MMA has been incredibly rapid. Ilia even says that his brother is technically stronger and more skilled than El Matador himself, and that says a lot, considering Ilia has defeated fighters like Alexander Volkanovski, Max Holloway, and Charles Oliveira in his recent fights. If he were to defeat Islam Makhachev as well, he could arguably become one of the most legendary fighters of all time. That would be especially significant because Makhachev has a winning streak comparable to Khabib Nurmagomedov, nearly undefeated since an early loss that seemed to completely transform his career. Beating him would almost feel like beating Nurmagomedov himself. And speaking of the Nurmagomedovs, the story doesn't end with Khabib. Fighters like Umar Nurmagomedov and Usman Nurmagomedov are still competing at the highest level, with more than 45 wins between them. Because of that, there's a strong chance that Alexander Topuria could eventually collide with one of them. If that happens, especially outside the current elite title picture, it could become a unique and legendary clash between the brothers of some of the most iconic fighters in modern MMA. And with Ilia Topuria currently dealing with a difficult personal period and taking longer breaks, Alexander might even have the chance to rise rapidly to the top while his younger brother focuses on recovery.